So now I'm excited to tell you a little bit about what we do. Since 1993, we've been specializing in character-based recruiting. On the civil engineering design side, we do highway, bridge, site, municipal, pretty much everything under the civil engineering umbrella. On the construction industry side, we work with developers and general contractors pretty much in all markets: commercial, healthcare, education, industrial. And in both of these areas, we work with project engineers, project managers, all the way up to executive level management. So you might be saying to yourself, things are going pretty well now. I'm not looking for a new job. How does this really apply to me? And that's a great question. I'm going to try to answer it for you. By the way, first of all, let me thank you for listening and keeping it an open mind. Just a few points. First off, let me tell you, you're in good company. Since 1993, we've worked with thousands and thousands of people. They're all doing well and not actively looking. These are the first round draft picks that any company would want to have on their team. And once we show them what other companies do for their top performers, sometimes it's pretty eye-opening. And we realize you don't have to make a change, but you might just want to. Secondly, other than the spouse you pick in life, where you work is the most life-affecting decision you'll ever make. And most people agree. However, when we talk with people, we find out they spend more time planning their Christmas vacation than planning their career. That's pretty sad, but true. Lastly, people say, I'm happy. I have to ask, compared to what? Are you capable of more? Do you deserve more? It's okay to be happy, but also ask yourself, how much better could things be? Sometimes we need to think and dream one size bigger.
Quite often, people spend lots of time working in their careers and almost no time working on their careers. I like to give an example. Just think about a construction project with no blueprints, no renderings to work from. It'd be chaos, mistakes everywhere. It certainly wouldn't end up being the best version of what you're trying to build. Well, that's what most careers are like. We're not designing them, we're not planning them, they're just kind of happening. Research shows that the average engineer is going to work for 12 to 15 firms in his lifetime. 12 to 15. And why is that? Well, if you think about it, when you first get out of college, your first job, basically the company picks you. You're just happy to get a job offer, and that's great. So we start working there, and months go by, years go by, and we wait until some crisis happens. Some pain forces us to our next station in life. The company gets bought out, layoffs, our boss is a jerk. Something forces us to change jobs. But then we start repeating that cycle. Work, become unhappy, leave. Work, become unhappy, leave. And we've been conditioned to think this is how we're supposed to approach our careers. Just stay and work and keep your head down as long as things are going fine. And then when something bad happens, you leave. Well, there's a name for this method, and it's called trial and error. And this is not the optimal career strategy to use.
Okay, now let's dive into what I think is our secret sauce. This is really why I think people trust us and want to work with us. Most people feel they know the market pretty well, but do they really? It's okay to know a few people that work at other companies in your area. That's a very good start, but there's so much more to know. For 25 years and counting, we've been collecting insider information by talking to literally thousands of engineers and construction professionals, pretty much from every company in your state. And we find out not just the stuff anybody can find out on the internet, the size of the company, the past projects and some of them and things like that, but we find out what it's really like to work at those firms. What's the character of the leadership like? What's the culture of the company like? The things that on a daily basis either enhance your life or sap your energy, those are the type of things you really want to know, and those are the type of things we find out. All companies can sound good if you just read their mission statements, or even in interviews. They all try very hard to sound good. But are they really? A company can tell you, we develop our people. Great. That could still mean that you have to get 3 signatures to go to a $50 seminar. Or it could mean that they pay for an advanced degree for you. Very big difference there. They all tout that they have a great management style, but when your boss delegates to you, does he empower you? Does he support you? Does he remove roadblocks? That's how delegating is supposed to be. Most often it's just they're going to dump a bunch of work on your desk and expect you to work miracles. A company might even tell you, hey, we're client focused. Again, it might mean that they're attentive and honest to their clients. That's a good thing. But more than likely, it could also mean that we're going to make you work 60 hours to meet deadlines. And often those deadlines are unrealistic. So what we want to know is this important stuff, this culture stuff, before we work for a company. That's the most important thing. And there's only one platform to either validate or debunk all of this stuff, and it's CWP Technical. We have more information, and it's not just more information that equals better decisions. It's also the type of information. We have the information that's impossible to find anywhere else. So that's pretty much a 10,000-foot view of character-based recruiting. It's pretty simple. We just introduce A-plus people to A-plus companies that have the same values. And a reminder, you don't have to be looking to deserve more. Over here, we feel that we're not just helping people change jobs, we feel like we're actually changing lives here.